Have you ever experienced that frustrating moment when you find yourself struggling to recall some fact despite investing countless hours in studying that very lesson? For sure it has happened to me, and in that moment a scary thought creeps in me suggesting that I am not as sharp as I would like to be. But instead of attributing it to intelligence, let's consider the possibility that it's simply a matter of lacking the right study strategies. It's a realization that goes beyond intellect and gives us the power to change and become better. Before we dive into the realm of effective learning, I want to emphasize that the insights presented in this video are based on scientific reviews cited in the description. If you want to have a deeper understanding of the topic, you can check them out. First, let's uncover the harsh truth about some common practices. Most of them I have used, and I guess that you're using them too. I was surprised that many of these techniques fall short when it comes to truly effective learning. One of them is rereading. Yes, it may create the illusion of productivity, but research suggests that familiar information is not so impressive to us, so we tend to remember it less. The brain remembers challenges much more than familiarity. Consider this. Recall a moment when you had to dig deep and go through a challenging situation. Now contrast that with the memory of a routine act like sipping your morning coffee last Thursday. It's not that rereading is entirely ineffective, but compared to other techniques, it's a waste of time. Let's turn our attention to another widely embraced technique, the seemingly glorious act of highlighting. Pretty, yes, but not as effective as we all thought. Now you say to me, what the hell? I've been highlighting all my life and it's working for me. Yes, I thought so too. I'm not here to declare that it's utterly useless, but research suggests that it can be helpful if the students have the knowledge to highlight more effectively, which is often associated with good understanding of the topic. But let's get real. Highlighting is a time-consuming job. And as time is your most precious resource, why waste it on a practice that might not be as effective as some other technique? Okay, I can't skip the common practice of taking notes. Have you ever found yourself in a lecture trying to take notes of every word of the lecture, only to realize at the end that your understanding of the topic remains elusive? Modern research suggests that note-taking becomes a valuable tool only when accompanied by a thoughtful strategy or if you are well familiar with the topic. Now is the moment to present to you the Holy Grail, active recall. The magic of remembering something long-term happens when you actively retrieve information from your memory, rather than trying to put information in it. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but let me explain. But first of all, if you find this video valuable, hit the like button, subscribe, and comment. You can join our mission by contributing on Patreon. The neuroscientific basis of active recall lies in the reactivation of the neural pathways formed during the initial learning. This way, you are strengthening the connections between those neurons. This process, known as long-term potentiation, leads to increased efficiency of the synaptic transmissions, making it more likely that the same pattern of neural activity will be reactivated, or simply said, easier access to the memory in the future. Each time you recall information, there is a brief period of instability during which the memory becomes liable and susceptible to modification. This process is known as reconsolidation. In this exact moment when you're actively recalling information, you're actually reinforcing the memory, making it more robust. Active recall often involves recalling information in different contexts, which engages a broader network of neurons associated with the memory. This makes the memory become more logically integrated into your knowledge and more resistant to forgetting. Last but not least, active recall is often combined with spaced repetition, a technique that involves reviewing information at increased intervals. This approach flattens the forgetting curve and strengthens the memories. In essence, active recall is like a mental workout. The more cognitive effort you put into retrieving a fact, the more you will engage the neural circuits associated with that exact fact. All these scientific facts are great, but how can we apply this in practice? The key lies in testing oneself in every possible way. Here are some practices backed by science. Flashcard apps leverage the power of active recall and spaced repetition. Make your own flashcards and you will be amazed how easy it is to remember the unrememberable. There are some great apps like Anki, Quizlet, Study Smarter, and much more. Choose one and use it. Making notes with closed textbook is a great method of active recall. When you're ready with the note-taking, open the book and add the missing parts. This way, you will emphasize on the gaps of your knowledge you have to fill, and you will know what you have to repeat more often. The Cornell note-taking system is a structured method involving three main sections: the note-taking column for recording key information, the clue column for writing questions corresponding to the notes, and the summary column for summarization of the main ideas. When reviewing, you can cover the note-taking column and test yourself. The Feynman Technique is a learning method that involves explaining a topic to someone in simple terms. During the explanation, you will identify the gaps in your understanding. The next step is to review the concept and reinforce your knowledge. Then try to explain it again. By describing complex ideas in straightforward language and addressing areas of difficulty, this technique promotes deep understanding and effective learning. If you can teach it, you have truly learned it. In summary, active recall is a learning technique which focuses on deliberate effort of retrieving information from your memory, which enhances retention and reinforces the neural connections. So study smarter and harder.